this guy's garage. Like and subscribe.
Presenting petitions.
The Honourable Member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, just one petition today. It is deeply troubling to see the passage of Article 23 in Hong Kong. This is another devastating attack on the people of Hong Kong. It creates a provision, for instance, which would allow sentences of up to 14 years imprisonment if an individual fails to disclose that another person indicates a, quote, intention to commit treason. This builds on the national security law of 2020, but another devastating action that requires the condemnation of the government. The government also should call for the release of Jimmy Lai. I am tabling a petition in relation to the situation in Hong Kong that calls on the government of Canada to recognize the politicization of the judiciary in Hong Kong and therefore to create a mechanism by which Hong Kong people with pro-democracy movement-related convictions could provide an explanation for such convictions, and therefore they would not be deemed inadmissible to come to Canada under the criminality provisions of the Immigration Act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presenting petitions. Questions on the order paper. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Yukon.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Today, I am honoured to present a petition signed by more than 16,460 Canadians from every province and 2 territories, including many Yukoners, who call upon the Minister of Justice to bring forward an amendment to the Criminal Code to set out a specific framework for an advance request made by individuals who have received a diagnosis of a capacity-diminishing, grievous and irremediable medical condition and who would wish an assisted death when they reach an advanced state of decline. Their suffering becomes intolerable and diminished capacity prevents them from giving contemporaneous consent. Thank you.
Presenting the petitions, the Honourable Member for Mission, Mascot, Fraser Canyon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to present a petition for the people of Lillooet. In 2002, train service to the town of Lillooet was cancelled, resulting in an 82% decline in tourism. Residents in my riding are calling on the federal government to re-establish rail service to the village of Lillooet for economic and medical needs. The second petition I'd like to present today is on behalf of correctional officers who are calling on the government of Canada to stop their failed experiment noted as the prison needle exchange at prisons in my riding. It is not going to result in any better health outcomes. That is stated by the professionals. Correctional officers want it canceled now. And the third petition I'd like to raise is on behalf of residents in the eastern Fraser Valley regarding the Lettsmont Regional Aquatic Centre. Residents of the district of Kent, Harrison Hot Springs, Seabird Island, Shem Stalos, Tehala Skowlitz, Squalhook, Popcom and Peters First Nations and Fraser Valley Regional Electoral Districts areas C and D want a regional aquatic center. They just want the same thing that people have in larger communities, a pool. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presenting of petitions, the Honourable Member for Calgary Skyview. Calgary Skyview.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Presenting a petition signed by Canadians that calls on the government to address the challenges transport drivers in Canada face. The petition asks the Government of Canada to make laws and regulations that protects these drivers. This includes a Transport Driver Bill of Rights, transparent industry contracts, the right for drivers to see what they will get paid, must have minimum rate of pay per kilometer for drivers and owner-operators, must have paid layover and downtime and cancellation fees, access to bathrooms where drivers deliver their goods, and a cap on brokerage fees. Work with provinces and territories to twin the Trans-Canada Highway and mandate rest stations with washrooms across the country for the safety and well-being of drivers. Transport drivers work hard to bring us what we need every day. They deserve to be treated fairly with good pay and safe working conditions. The petition recognizes the invaluable service provided by our transport drivers and ensure they get the rights and protections they deserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presenting of petitions, présentation de pétition, the Honourable Member for Regina, Wascana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to present a petition this morning signed by over 600 Canadians from across Canada calling on the government to list Russia as a state supporter of terrorism. This measure would allow Canadians to take the Russian Federation to court to sue for damages. It would also send a message that Russia needs to be considered a pariah on the world stage due to its illegal invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to add that this measure would be of no cost to taxpayers, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to present it here today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presentation of Présentation de Petitions, the Honourable Member for Davenport.
Mr. Speaker, it is a great pleasure for me to present a petition to this respected House on behalf of the members of Spanish-speaking communities in Canada, including those in my riding of Davenport. Canada is proud to be home to over 1.2 million Spanish-speaking individuals, representing a huge cultural and ethnic diversity. For those of Hispanic and Latin American descent who have chosen Canada as a new home, the Spanish language holds profound significance, serving as a vital link to their heritage, identity, and traditions. The petition has gathered thousands of signatures and has the support of Spanish-speaking communities right across our great country, asking that Canada proclaims April 23rd as Spanish Language Day at the federal level. It is a date chosen in memory of the great writer of Spanish letters, Miguel de Cervantes. This designation will serve as a symbolic gesture of solidarity and recognition, further empowering the Spanish-speaking community to thrive and contribute to the multicultural fabric of Canadian society. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presentation of petitions, the Honourable Member for Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to table a petition on behalf of constituents in my riding who are calling on the Government of Canada to support Bill C-310, which amends the Income Tax Act to increase tax credits for volunteer firefighting and search and rescue volunteer services. Thank you.
Presenting of petitions, Présentation de Petitions, the Honourable Member for Winnipeg North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, it's a pleasure for me to table yet another petition in regards to Canada's airline services between Canada and India. As members will know, our Indo-Canadian community has grown significantly over the last decade, arguably the fastest growing community in Canada today. And at the end of the day, with that growth and the demand for international flights from even individuals of non-Indo-Canadian heritage, it is believed that having more direct flights from Canada to India would be a positive thing. From a personal perspective, they're really emphasizing from the city of Winnipeg to New Delhi or Amritsar would be a nice thing to see. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Presenting of petitions, Présentation de Petitions.